Ethereum is expensive, slow, and with inflated fees. But why is it still the number 2 cryptocurrency? The answer to this question is more complicated than it seems at first glance. There are indeed solutions on the market that surpass Ethereum in certain characteristics. Some offer impressive speed and near zero fees. Others attract developers with their flexibility and the ability to run custom blockchains. And others chose a scientific approach, focusing on security and stability. It would seem that everything is simple. Choose a network that solves the main problems of Ethereum, and there it is, the new leader. But in reality, it's not like that. Ethereum holds its position not because it is the fastest or the most convenient. Its strength lies elsewhere. Ethereum has become a kind of default language in the cryptocurrency world. Imagine a city where almost all roads lead to one huge market. Hundreds of sellers work there, thousands of buyers, and even new stores open there because they know the flow of customers is already established. Whether it is convenient or not is another question. But not everyone is ready to change their usual route for a new road, even if it is shorter. Today we will look into why Ethereum is still on top, what weaknesses competitors use against it, and whether any of them will be able to depose it from the throne in the near future. And most importantly, what it means for investors and those who are looking for reliable solutions in the crypto market. Let's go. Ethereum has long remained an unattainable leader, but competitors are not standing still. Solana is accelerating, Avalanche is getting stronger, and Cardano is betting on security. Which of them is ready to displace Ethereum? Solana is about speed and scalability. Its unique proof-of-history technology allows the network to simplify the order of transactions and dramatically increase throughput. Solana has had stability issues in the past, with the network stopping for hours several times due to congestion. However, with the migration to the new Agave version 2 client, this problem has been completely resolved. Now the network consistently produces 99.7% of blocks, while before this figure was at the level of 91 to 95%. This result has brought Solana to a new level of reliability and made it much more resistant to overloads, but proof of history is only part of Solana's success. The network recently introduced InfiniSVM, a technology that literally takes performance to the next level. Through hardware acceleration, Solana can now process transactions at speeds of up to 100 GBPs. If a standard blockchain is a 3-lane highway where everything is moving slowly, Solana with its InfiniSVM is an expressway where traffic flows nonstop and new lanes are added as needed. But it's not just about speed. Solana is implementing a solution codenamed SMD215, a technology that allows the system to optimize data storage. This means that Solana will be able to support billions of accounts without losing performance. In simple words, the network will be able to grow to the size of a social network like Facebook or Instagram, handling countless user transactions, from sending funds to interacting with apps. By the way, did you know that Solana has already surpassed Ethereum in trading volume on some decentralized exchanges? This is another signal that users are increasingly opting for solutions with minimal fees and fast transaction processing speeds. If you keep Solana in your portfolio, don't just leave the coins lying around. By delegating them to Robobo Validator, you will not only get additional income, but also won't lose any rewards. Our validator works without downtime and with zero commissions. Everything your coins earn stays with you. Links to Robobo in the description. Now let's talk about Avalanche. This network has staked on flexibility and security. Instead of one main chain, Avalanche uses 3 separate branches. X-Chain for exchanging assets, C-Chain for working with smart contracts, P-Chain for network management and validation. This separation allows Avalanche to not just scale, but literally offload the network so that each chain performs its task without affecting the others. The main advantage of this approach is resiliency. Even if attackers take over 51% of the validators, the network will still continue to operate without disruption. This makes Avalanche one of the most secure platforms on the market. But there is a downside to this flexibility and security. Working with subnetworks requires additional settings, and the transition between them may not be obvious, especially for those who are just starting to understand the ecosystem. This won't be a problem for experienced investors, but newbies should be more careful working with Avalanche. Nevertheless, Avalanche has already gained the trust of major players. AVAX cryptocurrency is included in the investment portfolio of Grayscale, one of the largest cryptocurrency funds in the world. And institutional investors rarely choose assets without serious potential. And now we're moving to Cardano. This project does not chase speed or flexibility. It relies on stability and security. Its algorithm, Ouroboros Omega, can process up to 1,000 transactions per second, which is still inferior to Solana and Avalanche. But Cardano is confident. Slow and proven growth will ensure the long-term sustainability of the network. It's worth considering that this approach takes time. Cardano is known for its long development and update rollout phases. This increases reliability, but can slow the growth of the ecosystem, which is important to consider when planning investments. Additionally, Cardano offers one of the safest and most convenient staking mechanisms on the market. Unlike Solana, where you have to carefully choose a validator and consider possible fees, Cardano is simpler and safer. Your tokens in Cardano are not blocked. You can freely dispose of your funds even during delegation. At the same time, the system is organized in such a way that delegators cannot lose their tokens due to errors or unscrupulous actions of the validator. Basically, delegating in Cardano is like renting an apartment, and you can not only receive income from rent, but also sell a part of your apartment. The tenant will stay in place, and the profit will be automatically divided between you and the new owner. This approach makes staking in Cardano especially convenient. Your coins remain under your control, but continue to generate income even if you decide to sell them in installments. And what about Ethereum? Despite its problems, it's not standing still. The move to proof of stake has already significantly reduced network power consumption, and the upcoming Danksharding update promises to solve one of Ethereum's major problems: high fees and low throughput. Danksharding won't just speed up the network. It will turn Ethereum into a platform capable of handling massive applications with millions of active users. Imagine a parcel box. Previously, Ethereum worked as if each box could only carry important documents, leaving no room for anything else. Danksharding allows you to add a separate container, a blob, to the box, which takes up much less space in the blockchain and doesn't require complex calculations to verify. This blob can store large amounts of data that used to overwhelm the network. For example, transaction history in DeFi applications, user lists, liquidity flow data. This information used to clog the blockchain, slowing down the network and increasing fees. Now, this data is stored separately, without interfering with the main processes. In other words, it's like setting aside a special area in the warehouse for large parcels, so that they don't take up space on the shelves with everyday goods. Everything becomes more organized, and work becomes faster. In practice, this means that DeFi applications, NFT markets, and exchanges will be able to work faster and cheaper, even at times of high network load. Danksharding is not just a patch, but a complete solution that prepares Ethereum for mainstream adoption. If previously the network struggled to cope with overloads, now it is ready to handle millions of active users around the world. So who will win in the end? Ethereum, which adapts to new realities. Solana aims to become the blockchain of mass adoption, fast, cheap, and suitable for millions of users around the world. Avalanche focuses on resilience and flexibility, offering solutions that can withstand even the most sophisticated attacks. Cardano is slowly but surely building a network that will last for decades without sacrificing security for speed. Ethereum, despite all the problems, is still holding its ground, but that status quo is already under threat. While some people are sure that Ethereum will not be moved from the pedestal, others believe that it will be displaced, not only due to its weaknesses, but because competitors step by step create more convenient solutions for developers and users. Solana offers lightning-fast transactions and minimal fees. Avalanche builds a flexible architecture that can withstand colossal loads. Cardano relies on fundamental security and scientific approach. Ethereum is still the standard, but how long can it hold that position? Ultimately, it's the market, not the technology, that will decide. Which blockchain do you think will come out on top in a couple years? Write your opinion in the comments. Earlier, we talked about proof of history and proof of stake, which help blockchains process thousands of transactions per second and minimize fees. But here's the interesting thing. The very first and popular cryptocurrency works on a completely different principle: proof of work. This is the system that underlies Bitcoin and once set the tone for the entire market. And here's the big question: is proof of work really becoming obsolete? Or is it the system that will continue to attract the biggest capital? The answer is in the following video. Subscribe so you don't miss it.